A word of caution: never debate or in any way interact with the likes of Geno360, Razgriz, or the pro moderator type. Now, they're going to come rushing into this topic to say I'm misconstruing, I'm, slandering them and shit like this. But they could have easily prevented this video had they done their one job in uploading the debate that we had last night. I was up really late last night with that charity work, and they couldn't even freaking do it. Now, I don't know if this is just pure incompetence or it's intentional trolling, but either which way, it proves they are not fit to interact with. And basically what happened was that originally it was just me, Jennifer, and Geno. Then Geno decided to add Razgriz to the call. Razgriz, as always, showed his ass. And then as I was, conversing with him, while I was doing the conversing, he was just flailing angrily. Jennifer was like, this deserves to be a debate, because the way them two are going at it, it should be on YouTube, and everyone can actually see what they actually believe. And so Geno, I think, was the one in charge of recording it. And then we were all having our debate, and, as you can see, there's no video to be found. Apparently the file was lost or corrupted or whatever, some excuse. I'm sure it had been anybody else they could have managed. But let me give you the gist of the debate, because that thing was like at least 2 hours long, and there's no reason to have to watch somebody for 2 hours. I try to keep my videos brief and to the point. Basically, Razgriz said that the law does not apply if you own property. That somehow you are exempt from the law just because you own fucking property. And while he's going to deny that, that's essentially what he's saying. When he describes terms of service, when he describes moderators, when he describes private websites, what he's telling you, the viewer, what he was telling me, what he was telling everyone, was that my property is above the law. Doesn't work that way. Not because I'm a communist it doesn't work that way. It doesn't fucking legally work that way. You have a lawful system. You have to abide by that lawful system even when you own property. Property is not magical fairy dust. So whether or not I'm a communist makes no relevance to that. I mean, the fact that I am a communist helps me better see the fact. It helps me reflect upon the fact that this is what capitalists actually believe. And this is why we should avoid capitalism and ultimately destroy capitalism. But that does not have to do with the law in and of itself. The law states you're committing felonies. And just because you're getting away with it doesn't mean you should, and doesn't mean you have to continue to in the future. All we have to do is crack down on them. Now, he did make an interesting point, that how am I going to crack down on all the millions and millions of the Rock fans, that is, internet moderators? And the point is, you don't have to crack down on literally all of them. You just have to crack down on most of them. It's perfectly possible. And if you go after the big wigs, like Facebook and Google and YouTube and 4chan and things like that, well, the problem will naturally solve itself. Because it's like any organized crime. You go after the big dogs. And once they're taken care of, the little ones have no desire to commit the crimes anymore. Because they're no longer being controlled, they're no longer being told what to do, and they're no longer motivated to continue those crimes when they see that fucking billionaires can't even get away with it. So, yeah, why do you have police and FBI and things like that if you're not willing to use them? They're there for your protection. They are there for your safety. They are there for your security and rights. They protect your rights. Your rights are being violated by moderators. And the police and FBI are sitting on their thumbs because you're not going to them and telling them, hey, there's these fucking criminals over here. They're evading their taxes. They're committing legal fraud. They're committing cyber terrorism. Things like that. Why don't you fucking do something about them? That's all you have to do. You don't have to fucking make them a glass of tea. You don't have to be their friend. You don't have to abide by terms of service. They're breaking the law. It's their job to go after the lawbreakers. That's it. There's no favoritism. There's no, ulterior motive. They're not moderators. So they're gonna do their fucking job, unlike Gino did, and just go after these guys. So what's the problem? What do you need to argue with me about? And they were getting all pissed off because of that. Because there's nothing to argue about. That's just the way it is. It may not be the way they want it to be. It may not be the best situation right now because people aren't doing that. But that's the way the law works. And that's the way we can go about combating moderators. And then also there was some tangent about Gino being racist, which he is. The man is just fucking racist as all get out, and I don't have time for him. Now again, he's gonna go getting all pissed off and, you know, bitch and whine. But basically, yeah, he said that black people are in the situation they're in because they don't work hard enough. You know, he compared me to black people because, oh, you know, I've had a year without getting banned on YouTube. Well, hoo-hoo, let's give YouTube a fucking medal for not banning me for a year. And I haven't proven myself worthy of lots of subscribers within that year. Never mind the fact all the other bans I received. Never mind the fact half of my videos get put in the 18 or older category. Never mind the fact that intentionally my videos are suppressed and kept off the front page so that nobody can see them, because if they did, they know that fucking YouTube is full of fucking criminal scumbags. Never mind any of that. The fact that I've had an entire year to get a subscriber base and haven't proves that the free market has done the talking for me. And that's how he feels about blacks and Hispanics and everybody else that's a minority. That, you know, just because there was slavery and segregation and racism and things like that, and that the very market that he defends put them in that position and kept them in that position. You know, it's their fault that they're jobless. It's their fault that they live in poverty. It's their fault that crime tends to infest their culture because of all the, you know, the poverty and the fucking poor and the fucking everything. But it's always the victim's fault. It's victim blaming. I'm sure he believes that all fucking women that get raped were so because they wore a short skirt or some shit. And I do not have fucking time for people like that. I do not have time for you, Razgriv and Gino. You failed to do your one job, so I'm not talking to you anymore. The next time you ask me to debate, I'm gonna say, fuck you, because I don't have time for this. The only reason why I was willing to even do that debate with you, and I told you that, was because I wanted to reach a broader audience for my message against moderators. And you made it out like that was some kind of ulterior motive. Guess what? I said it to your face. It's not an ulterior motive. I want to make my message clear and crystal clear to everybody out there, and that way more people think about it and realize, hey, this moderator thing is bullshit. It is illegal. I'm not going to put up with it either. Thank you, base Stalin. That's all I want. I'm not in this for the money. I'm not in this for the fame. All I'm in this for is the destruction of moderators. And I've made that perfectly clear from day one. And somehow they just expect me to torture myself, talking with their fat autistic selves, for no other reason than their own entertainment. Not going to happen. And I kind of blame myself for giving them the benefit of the doubt that they could perform this simple action. You know, I figured, while they may be scumbags, while they may be ignorant, they can still do a basic human task like upload a fucking video. Apparently not. Now, like I said, the situation escalates whether or not they're simply stupid or they did it on purpose. But either which way, it shows that I wasted my time. And I don't like wasting my time. My time is to be devoted to fighting moderators 24 hours a day. And however way I think I can go about that. And, you know, I could be fighting moderators in a much more constructive way than talking to two dumbasses that are never going to get it, don't want to get it, and only want to argue to the contrary. But then have the fucking nerve to say that, oh, communism doesn't allow freedom of opinion. You are being fucking moderated right now. Don't fucking talk to me about how you have a right to an opinion. You don't. You know what you have a right to? Food. At least for now. Until the moderators take that away from you too, fatty. But what you have as an American is the right to food. That's why you're so fucking fat. Because all you can do is stuff your face. You don't have freedom of speech. You don't have freedom of association. You don't have freedom of the press, freedom to work, freedom to do. You have no ambitions, no incentives, no goals, no hopes. All you have is your fucking food. And you don't want to see that. That's not my problem. It's not my problem that you're in some kind of insane state. It's not my problem that you're having some kind of Stockholm syndrome. My problem is that I cannot live with this, knowing that these people are making millions, if not billions of dollars, doing criminal activity, getting away with it, and then having the audacity to turn around and act like they have the moral high ground and get to tell the rest of us what to do. We all have to watch what we say. We all have to walk on eggshells. And at the end of the day, we're going to get banned no matter what. Doesn't matter how nice we are, how polite, how smart, how creative. All of that is just going to get us banned all the sooner and waste all of our hard work, all of our time and energy. And for what? So some fucking moderator dickbag can sit at his monitor jacking off about how he got to do it and got away with it. No, that is not the kind of world I am willing to live in. I am not going to tolerate that world. And I will do everything in my power to stop that world from existing. And, then they get on the ad hominem. He's a Marxist and that's a utopian vision. It's such a utopian vision that people shouldn't be raped and murdered and fucking exploited. It's such a utopian vision that justice can actually prevail and that the police and FBI do their job and arrest the bad guys. Jim Profit, how's that lawsuit coming along even though you're fucking poor and that's why it's gonna take a while. But no, I'm not dealing with that anymore. I gave you one chance, you blew it. I'm fucking done with you, Raspberry and Gino. And don't fucking reply to my videos anymore because I'm not going to answer you. I'm not going to validate your existence. You are useless to me.